Good morning, everyone. Now, I think today will be our last class. So, very only one or two topics we will be able to complete in the lesson cell the unit of life. If anyone is having any problem in your previous lessons, if you want any doubt to be cleared, you can raise your hand and we can discuss those topics. Otherwise, I will be moving on to the next topic of the lesson, cell the unit of life. Anyone is having any doubt? You can raise your hand. No one? So where we are moving on the next topic. We have completed the primary cell wall and now the secondary cell wall. Secondary cell wall, have you written the notes? I think I have completed the notes given. We have to draw another diagram. No? You will be drawing with different color, different things. You will be drawing with different color, so it will be easy for you to understand. So shall we see what is there in this? What is the difference in the primary cell wall and the secondary cell wall? In the primary cell wall, there will be no deposition of the lignin, superin, etc. First thing. Then the laying down of the cellulose microfibrils. In the primary cell wall, we have seen they are obliquely laid down, but here they are parallel to the longitudinal axis of the cell wall. So they will be laid down parallel, parallel like this, parallel like this. Then they are more compact, compactly arranged, more compact. In the primary cell wall, they are loosely arranged, means they are far away. Here they will be more compact, and hemicellulose fibrils are more longer, more denser. So these are the differences. And the primary cell wall will be shifted and the maximum area will be occupied by the secondary cell wall. Then there will be the layers of the cell wall. Secondary cell wall will be formed in layers, means one layer, then second layer. So when the layers are formed, the orientation of the fibrils means like in one the fibrils are oriented like this, the cellulose fibrils are oriented like this, the other they will be oriented like this. So in different layers of the secondary cell wall, the orientation will change. So these are all the characteristics of the cell wall. Now, one more topic we will be studying today, fluid mosaic model of the plasma membrane, which we have studied earlier also. Little more detail will be studying. So first of all, about the plasma membrane, what you have to write, open the page number 8.18 in your book. 8.18. So first of all, the functions of cell wall, all you have to mark it, all the functions like in points you can write, or by writing the comma, like mechanical support, protects plasma membrane, maintains cell shape, protects the cell against osmotic pressure, then helps in translocation of water and other substances, plays an important role in cell expansion, enzymatic activity, involved in enzymatic activity, prevents loss, sovereign and Q10 prevents loss of water by evaporation. So all these are the functions of the cell wall, which you can write in your own words, or main points you can write in the cell wall function. Then come to the plasma membrane, page 8.19. 8.19. So plasma membrane or cell membrane, the words which I am telling that you go on underlining. An elastic thin covering, then named by Nageli and Kramer as plasma membrane, and plasma lemma by Plowe. This history is also important. It was named plasma membrane by Nageli and Kramer 1855 and plasma lemma by Plowe 1931. Then it is selectively permeable as it allows only certain substances to enter or leave the cell through it. This much only. Then molecular structure of biomembranes. This will not be there. Then we'll directly come to page 8.20, fluid mosaic model of the plasma membrane. So in this also you underline, this model was proposed by Singer and Nicholson 1972. Then write about the plasma membrane fluid mosaic model. So fluid mosaic model heading you write, it is proposed by Singer and Nicholson, 1972. Or better write the full name. It was proposed by S. Jonathan Singer. S. Jonathan Singer. Bart Nicholson. S. Jonathan Singer and Gart Nicholson. According to this model, plasma membrane consists of bimolecular lipid layer, the surface of which is interrupted by proteins. So the principal components are lipids, which are made of phospholipid, cholesterol. Principal components are made of lipids, which are phospholipid and cholesterol. Then protein.
Please repeat.
Principal components are lipids, which are actually the phospholipid and cholesterol. Then proteins. And the carbohydrate groups. Which are attached to some of the lipids and proteins. Next point, a phospholipid is a lipid. A phospholipid is a lipid made of glycerol, comma, two fatty acid tails, glycerol, two fatty acid tails, and a phosphate linked head. Glycerol, two fatty acid tails, and a phosphate linked head. So this is one single phospholipid molecule. One single phospholipid molecule. It is made up of a hydrophilic head and hydrophobic tail. Hydrophobic tail is made up of saturated fatty acid and unsaturated fatty acid. And the hydrophilic head is made of phosphate linked with glycerol. This is the structure of glycerol, this is the structure of phosphate. So this is there in the head and this is the tail. Completed? Shall we move? Okay. Next point. Cholesterol. Cholesterol, a type of lipid, is composed of 4 fused carbon rings. Cholesterol, a type of lipid, is composed of 4 fused carbon rings and is found alongside phospholipids in the core of membrane. In the core of the membrane. Next point. 2 types of proteins are there. Two types of proteins are there. Dash, integral and peripheral. 2 types of proteins are found in this. Integral or intrinsic. Peripheral or extrinsic. The 2 types of proteins are found. Integral or intrinsic proteins, peripheral or extrinsic proteins. Next point. Integral proteins are integrated into the membranes. Integral proteins are integrated into the membrane. Peripheral proteins are found on the outside and inside surfaces of membranes. Next point. Phospholipids arranged in a bilayer make up the basic fabric of the plasma membrane. They are well suited.
Please repeat the point.
Phospholipids arranged in a bilayer make up the basic fabric of the plasma membrane. They are well suited for this role because they are amphipathic. Because they are amphipathic. Which means they have both hydrophilic and hydrophobic regions. They have both hydrophilic and hydrophobic regions. So these are the two regions, hydrophilic and hydrophobic region in a phospholipid molecule. So that is why this phospholipid is called as amphipathic. This can also be one question for give reason. Okay. It can be asked why the phospholipid molecules are named as amphipathic molecule. So you have to write that they have both hydrophilic and hydrophobic regions. So they are called as amphipathic. Now the diagram. With the diagram, we will be understanding all these things. The hydrophilic ends. This is the plasma. It is bilayer. One layer of phospholipid lattice and here base. So these are the hydrophilic heads. The head on the outer surface is also head, and these are the base. So plasma membrane is made up of bilayer of phospholipid or phospholipid bilayer. Plasma membrane is a phospholipid bilayer in which the proteins are embedded, integrated. Okay. So some proteins will be on the outer surface. Some proteins will be partially embedded. And some proteins will be completely embedded. attached to the layer, that will be the cholesterol. And if we see the 3D dimension of this, there will be heads. If we see the 3D dimension here, so from top, if we will see, it will be seen closely packed heads only. And in this head, the protein molecules will be seen floating. The protein molecules can be seen like this. Like this, the proteins are floating in it. And these heads, we can see some molecules are attached with the phospholipid heads, some are attached with the proteins. In between here also, these molecules are attached like this. So when the molecules are attached with the proteins, this is called as, these proteins are called as glycoproteins. These proteins are called as glycoproteins. These protein attached with the carbohydrate. The carbohydrate. And this is the protein. A carbohydrate is attached to the protein. Such proteins will be called as glycoproteins. Now here we can see the carbohydrate attached to phospholipid. So when the carbohydrate is attached to phospholipid head, it is called as glycolipid. What is this? Carbohydrate attached to protein, glycoprotein. Carbohydrate attached to phospholipid, glycolipid. Then this is the membrane protein. This protein is attached on the outer surface of the phospholipid bilayer. So this will be called as peripheral protein. And this one will be, this one and this one will be the integral protein. This is partially embedded in the phospholipid bilayer, and this is completely embedded in the phospholipid bilayer. So this is called as integral protein. So if we say about this protein, this type of integral protein, we can write about it. Integral proteins are of two types. Number one, integral proteins are of two types. Number one, this is number one and this is number two. So number one, such integral proteins either you write separately or you can write here only in the diagram itself. Such integral proteins penetrate partially in lipid bilayer. They are small, exposed on its surface. They are small, exposed on its surface, provide stability to lipid bilayer, hence
Please repeat.
such proteins are partially embedded or partially penetrate in lipid bilayer. They are small, exposed on its surface, provide stability to lipid bilayer, hence called structural proteins. So number one type of integral proteins are the structural proteins. Structural proteins. Okay. So they are exposed to the surface and they provide stability to the lipid bilayer. They provide stability to the lipid bilayer. They are small, penetrating partially in the lipid bilayer, exposed to the surface and provide stability to the bilayer. Second type, number two, these are large globular, project beyond lipid bilayer on both sides. You can see it is projecting beyond lipid bilayer on both the sides. Here also it is projecting out and here also it is projecting out. So project beyond lipid bilayer on both sides. Their hydrophobic region pass through lipid bilayer. Their hydrophobic region pass through lipid bilayer and hydrophilic end project out. They are exposed to water. They are exposed to water on both the ends.
Miss, please repeat the last line.
Their hydrophobic region pass through lipid bilayer and hydrophilic end project out. They are exposed to water on both the ends. They provide passage to water soluble substances and cause selective permeability So what is it? It is saying these are the hydrophilic ends of the protein. So they are exposed outside and inside. This is outer surface of the cell membrane. This is inner surface of the cell membrane. Here there will be the cytoplasm. So here also there will be water. Here also there will be water. So water soluble substances are passing through it. And this will be the hydrophobic part of the protein, which is embedded in the bilipid layer. Okay. So this is all about the fluid mosaic model. I've given you the simplified form of the fluid mosaic model. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to understand and write everything. So whatever I have given you, this is enough for fluid mosaic model for your board exams. Okay. So with this, we are ending our today's class. I hope now we'll meet after the exams. So keep preparing. And all of you get good marks in bio exams, okay? Only study whatever is given in your notes. Is it clear? So, goodbye all of you. All the best for your exams. Prepare well. Take rest also and prepare also, okay? Goodbye all of you.
Thank you, Miss.